Design for the Creative Age is about designing 21st century learning spaces. Traditional schools are organized around an industrial model in which students move from room to room, learning mostly through a teacher lecturing. But today, technology and globalization have changed the skills that are valuable in our society. We don't need lots of people mindlessly assembling objects in a factory. We need thinkers, inventors, and entrepreneurs. To help students grow in that direction, education is shifting from a teacher-centered model to being learner-centered. The teacher's role in the classroom now resembles a mentor or guide, and curriculum is becoming more interdisciplinary and project-based. This approach to learning respects the fact that students are different. They learn in a variety of ways and at different speeds. In a 21st century school, learning can happen anywhere and at any time. In this environment, the entire school, including circulation areas, can be used as learning spaces. Having a variety of spaces enables a multitude of learning modalities to happen. Instead of the classroom being the individual unit, a small learning community composed of a variety of learning studios, small group rooms, commons, staff collaboration areas, and other flexible spaces become the primary planning unit. Many school districts are facing serious challenges now. Aging buildings that are difficult to maintain, lack of funding, rigid classrooms that aren't allowing their teachers to teach the way they know they could be. Can 21st century learning happen under these conditions? Part of a very hopeful answer can be found in 2 schools FNI recently planned in Medford, Oregon. With our Portland partner OPSIS, we designed 2 neighborhood schools. Jackson and Roosevelt Elementary combined innovative spaces with a community outreach plan, proving that despite current challenges, school districts can provide a great education to all children.
What I really appreciate in the rebuilding of our district, and particularly these 2 buildings, is I've held a number of community meetings in this common space here. And when people come in, first of all, they aren't expecting this. This isn't what they would think in an elementary school. It's big people space too, and with just a couple shifts of walls and things, suddenly it's a place where we can have adult discourse. So I like the way that the space can be transformed depending on the audience, and yet there's nothing more thrilling than coming in here in the morning when they're doing an all-school assembly. Young kids are down below and all the older kids are up and around, and you have that whole school community participating as a group. Adults and kids usually like to connect with each other before they get to work. And in the past, kids had to wait outside in the cold because there wasn't a place for them to be. And so they come in now, they get kind of warmed up, chat with their friends, and then it's time to go to class. And then they move to these little sub-communities within the building, place where the teachers are in line sight of each other. This building before was a series of boxes. Teachers were really isolated in what they did. The excellent things they did were sort of unwitnessed. And when things were going hard, they felt kind of isolated and unprotected. So this I like is because it breaks up a nice elementary school into small learning communities, shared resources, and it's just like, it's kind of like your home, but you're learning.
I think one of the biggest changes in education over the last 10 to 15 years is the movement to really individualize teaching and learning, small group teaching and learning. And in the old Jackson and Roosevelt schools that were built 100 years ago, there wasn't space to take kids away from the classroom and teach them. Everything had to happen in the classroom or in the hallway. And now we've got these learning centers that teachers can use with classified staff, paraprofessionals, volunteers, and they can take small groups of kids or individual students and work on their individual needs. Just a great learning space. The space behind me still is my favorite part of the school. I think of it as the living room of the school, and every school should have a space like this.
Jackson is unique in that we have multi-layered reading programs, and because we're very good at identifying the specific needs of the children, we have a number of groups, and each group is targeted towards a select number of kids and their reading level. Within the classroom, it's kind of difficult. It's very difficult to do a number of groups. With this commons area, we can have 4 different groups taking place. I can have a group in my classroom, and then we can have groups taking place in the commons area. So from that standpoint, it's nice. And going back to the windows, I can go ahead and look out the window and I can see how it's going, and if there's something that needs to be addressed, I can excuse myself in the classroom, walk out and address it.
We are doing a lot of small group instruction now with students, and it's nice to be able to have places for those small groups to meet. Rather than having all of the small groups meet in the classroom, which can be, it works okay, but it can be distracting for other students. And we have classroom literacy aides that are and parent help who are able to take the students still in visual proximity to the teacher, so we know what's going on in those different areas. They're able to take the students out to the common areas or to the small conference rooms to minimize the distraction so the students can concentrate on what the learning is that they are asked to do.
It's worth investing in better furniture that will last longer, that fits the needs of your space. My family is a family of teachers. They've got 60 years of experience at least, and I've seen theories come and go, and I did not want spaces that were stuck in one type of instruction. So all of our common spaces have flexible furniture, so we can move cushions around, we can move tables. That way, if teachers aren't doing the same things we're doing 20 years from now, they'll be able to use the space differently.
These Medford schools enable multiple learning modalities to occur. One-on-one with a teacher, outdoor, project-based, learning in large groups, small group learning, play-based learning, independent learning, and small group with a teacher. Designed for the creative age and 21st century education is possible today, even for school districts that are facing challenges in funding and aging campuses. Creative solutions are available, including right-sizing buildings. Community outreach, like the Grandparent Reading Program in Medford, uses local volunteers to help with learning, and that's possible because of the variety of spaces in these schools. They can tutor students without disrupting others, but this idea can go beyond. Other community resources can be shared too. Places like museums, gymnasiums, libraries, and theaters should be considered as educational program partners. It's this kind of thinking that Design for the Creative Age represents. Solutions to complex problems require us to do things in new ways and leverage the best outcomes. It's a dialogue, and if you want to join in, we welcome your input.